A whole boyfriend makes a pro and con list calling me a SLT, so I made one back. I met my boyfriend on Tinder in the beginning of my freshman year of college. I was a very naive 18-year-old. I'd been on dates, but I'd never been in a relationship and I hadn't even had my first kiss yet. I was pretty miserable my first couple of weeks after moving in, and so I got Tinder and matched with a bunch of guys who went to my school. One of them I thought was pretty attractive. He was a junior and a brother in a good, but notorious, frat. He told me to come to his frat's party, so I went with some girls I'd met at orientation. There he took me upstairs and we made out, but I think he could tell I was very inexperienced, so nothing more happened. I pretty much fell in love with him, even though we'd said about 3 words to each other. I didn't see him until a couple of weeks later when he invited me to a party he was throwing. I was expecting us to at least hook up, but when we got there he was clearly with another girl, and there were tons of other random girls who I assume he was also hooking up with. I was naive but not an idiot, so I forced myself to get over it, and I didn't see him until my spring semester. When I drank too much, he ended up at my dorm and I lost my virginity to him. I didn't see him again until fall of my sophomore year. We hooked up the first week we were back on campus. I still didn't catch feelings again though, until we started to hook up regularly every week. At that point I was again pretty much in love with him, although this time I did have reasons beyond just him being a large, attractive popular man. We weren't dating, but we got to know each other and I saw his many virtues. However, it was still clear to me that he wasn't into me in that way, and that I was one of a number of women he was sleeping with, so I didn't say anything and I kept it casual. He also had a pretty terrible reputation as a F-boy, even amongst his frat brothers. His Instagram comments were usually filled with them saying things like horniest man alive and all 2,500 of his followers are his girlfriends. He graduated at the end of that spring semester, and we saw each other one last time before. It was incredibly intimate and really cemented everything I felt for him. So, after we both left campus, I confessed to him that I really liked him, and that I wasn't okay with just hooking up with him anymore, for my own sanity. Miraculously he said he also had feelings for me, and he asked me out on a real date. We started dating and have been together since, and the whole time has been healthy and happy for us. Last Thursday was our 1-year anniversary of becoming official. He got me an incredibly thoughtful gift basket, including some jewelry, a painting, and a card. In the card though was a printed picture of a pros and cons list on a whiteboard. He explained to me that he saw my confessional message when he was hanging out with his brother. My boyfriend said he really didn't know what to do and wasn't sure if he wanted anything more with me, but he was tired of sleeping around and wanted a stable relationship. So his brother said he should make a pros and cons list for me, and he did. Here's a paraphrase of the list. My pros were that I was cute, great SS, good in bed, horny, likes me a lot, sweet, lots of friends, doesn't go out too much, close to her family, really smart and academically successful, good future ahead of her, definitely not a gold digger, would do wife duties. My cons? Kind of a SLT, met on Tinder, frat girl, blacks out a lot, doesn't care a lot about her appearance, kind of nerdy based on that. He apparently decided to ask me out to dinner and then decide what to do based on how it went, and it went well enough that we started dating. He showed it to me with nothing but good intentions, but I was absolutely floored for obvious reasons. I have been pretending to be sick since then as I figure out what to do. On the one hand, he is my dream man and I am so glad to be with him. He has been nothing but incredible to me and we have a great relationship. And logically I know that he wasn't in love with me or anything when he asked me out, as I'm sure he had some idea of how I felt and he never did anything about it. But it still hurts to think that his feelings towards me were so ambivalent that he needed a goddamn pros and cons list to just ask me out. I can't really talk about this to anyone in my life, as a lot of them already dislike him, and I don't want to bias them anymore. So I thought I would ask here. What can I possibly do? I like to think that I have more self-respect than this, but I really love him and don't want to cause conflict in our relationship over something he definitely didn't think would hurt me. Update, a whole boyfriend makes a pro and con list calling me a SLT, so I made one back. Everyone's comments were a real wake-up call. I did realize at least somewhat that the entire time we'd known each other before dating he had treated me like crap, but I justified being with him by saying that he'd changed because I'd won him. But the pros and cons list made me realize really just how little he thought of me, and giving it to me made me think that he still felt the same way towards me. It also made me realize that in his mind he was settling for me, and that he probably only really liked me for the things I did for him. I also realized that although that was fine for a little, I definitely didn't want to have kids or spend the rest of my life with a man who didn't actually like or respect me. I also did make my own list, as some of the comments said, which made me realize how much I was willing to overlook for an attractive man. I would never give it to him, because even though a lot of people seem to think I don't really love him, I do care about him a lot for whatever reason, and would never do anything to hurt him. But here is the list. His pros are that he's big, attractive, popular, good job and makes lots of money, close to family, can be sweet, pays for things, and is submissive. His cons? He's an NPC, has no hobbies or interests, drinks a lot, clearly doesn't respect me, kind of stupid, not interesting, hardly an intellectual, not well read, doesn't have a lot to talk about, friends don't like him, and not good in bed. My list made me realize that not only does he kind of have nothing going for him, but being with him also reflects pretty terribly on myself and my values. I'm not really ashamed of myself because I met him when I was 18, but I hope I will not be this shallow of a person for my whole life. So I broke up with him this morning over coffee. He wasn't really upset, and was just kind of like damn okay. He did try to convince me to stay. But I was firm and we are officially broken up. I blocked him on everything because I have no self-respect when it comes to him, and I have no doubt he would try to booty call me soon if I didn't. My friends are all actually thrilled and are hosting a party for me tonight. My family was also pretty relieved. They didn't hate him, but they thought he was really stupid, and I think they're happy I won't be polluting the family lineage with idiocy on that level.